Hey everybody, December 8th, 2025. Now y'all may have heard the other day I got a 10-point buck, yay. Always a good thing. So today, I'm up here, I've got my rifle because it's bear season. And he's been around, all of them really. But the one that's right here by the cabin, he's been around. And it's still bow season. I can still get another buck and a couple of does. So we'll see how far that goes. But my 10-point buck, he was a little bit smaller than my big doe. Not by much, but he's a good size. I hauled him down on the four-wheeler yesterday since I'm bringing the four-wheeler up. I'm waiting on something today that'll fix my truck. A welding machine. I gotta fix that broken frame on it. So, anyways, today I'm going to do a little bit of hunting. It is, here, let me throw the light out here. I'll open up the door. Make sure I'm not standing outside the door because that bear is around. I don't know if you can see that. It's drizzling rain today, if you can see all the rain that's right here. Okay, it's drizzling rain. But here in just about 30 minutes or so, it's going to turn into snow, and it's going to snow all day, 2 to 3 inches. But I'm going to do hunting today. If the hunting doesn't pan out at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, when the deer quit moving, I'll come back in here and make chinking. But I've also got to cut one or two logs, and they're sitting down over by the corn pile, just down the road, right over here. And we're going to bring up a couple of those small logs and cut the window in for that window right there. I got to put the wood around it and measure it off. I got plexiglass the other day for both these windows. So once I get it measured off, I take the measurements down the hill, cut the plexiglass, and bring it up. Now if I have to modify it at all or whatever, I've got a big flat file that I can file it off until I get down to where I want to be at. And I will put in some, I'll cut a couple of the little boards. I'll make some 1 to 2 inch strips, probably a couple of them. And I'll put some 1 inch strips or 2 inch strips around the outside first, right? Put the piece of plexiglass in there, and then I'll just put a bottom and a top in there. It'll hold the window in there. If I have to, I'll put the sides in there too. Probably the bigger window I'll have to put the sides in. This one I can do the outside and then the inside. And they only got to have one screw a piece, because when you put the plexiglass in there, it'll flatten them all out to wherever they're supposed to be at. Oh, funny little story about my 10-point buck. I was sitting down above the corn pile because I know that's where they're going. Now, I'm not shooting them over the corn. They're up the hill a little ways. Well, anyways, they're coming around. Down below, there's a big tree, and they're going around the big tree and then coming up the hill a little ways, and then they'd come down to the corn pile. Well, first out was a big doe, and I laid my sight in on her. And as I laid the sight in, my peripheral vision caught another deer. I looked over, and he's got antlers. So I shifted over to him. So he went up the hill a little ways and was going to make that turn, but he stopped. I must have moved or something, and he saw. So he was standing there, and I took a shot at his shoulder, and I must have been shaking a little bit. He jumped up, crow hopped a little bit and then run right up on top of me. About 20, 25 yards up the hill, directly up from me. So I've got the bolt pulled back, and I chamber what I thought was another round, and went click, because I thought I'd missed him. Well, then I'm trying to get another round chambered in, and I finally get one chambered in, and he had taken off up the hill. And so I stepped out thinking that I could maybe get a good shot on him going up the hill. But I heard him go up the hill and then kind of go off to my right, and he was crashing, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. I thought, well, he went up and around that big tree where I always go up there hunting on the upper road. And I said, well, I debated for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I said, well, let me crawl up the hill about 20, 30 yards and see if there's a blood trail. Because I was thinking, man, how could I miss him? He wasn't that far away. He's maybe 40, 50 yards. I mean, for that rifle, that's a really good distance. So I went up there, and I'm looking around. I don't see a blood trail. Looking around. Took a couple more steps up. Got on the deer trail itself, or the little deer trail that runs up there. So I'm looking around, and I didn't see anything. And I was like, dang it, I missed him. Although there was some other words in there. It was like shit. And, you know, I missed him and all this crap. And then I happened to look over to my right, and there was a lot of blood and a blood trail going up the hill. And I was like, nope, I hit him. So now I got to track him. So I crawl back up the hill, and I get up to that upper road. And I'm just down below where, when I shot that big doe, she laid down on that road. So I get up on top of the road, and there he is, laying down. He laid down 2 feet from where that big doe laid down. And I'm like, well, it's a straight shot down the hill to the four-wheeler. That's good. So I gutted him and threw him down the hill, loaded him up, took him down, then came back up. Because I'm still bear hunting, so I can get both. So today, I'll have my bow and my gun. So I'm up here way, way early. This is like 6:45-ish. It's way before the sun even comes up. But as soon as the sun starts breaking, I'm going to be down there on the corn pile, because that's where the bear goes. Well, there's bear guts up there. And the other day when I was gutting that deer, fresh bear scat all over the place, because he took the guts from the big doe. So if he didn't get them yesterday, he'll be up there this morning, because he knows that they're there. So he'll walk up past me, and I'll get a good shot on him. He'll dress out 500-600 pounds. He's a big bear. But there's a bigger one out here. But right now I want to get this one that's hanging around the cabin. I want to get him gone. He hangs out up on the upper road and scares the bejesus out of the mine workers that are on the other side. He's always up there on that road. So what he does is, he comes off the hill opposite of where my cabin's at. He comes down the hill, up by my cabin, goes on that upper road, and then goes clean to the top on the ridge road. So I want to get rid of him, because of the vicinity where he's in. Now, I baited him in here, but he's always around here, and I want to get him gone for spring and whatnot. Now, there's a female up here with a couple of cubs. I can deal with a mama and a couple of cubs. I'm real quiet, and I just kind of move around. And I'm always armed, so I can fire a shot in her, and she'll either go away or come at me. And either way, I don't want to shoot her if she's got cubs. Now, these are yearling cubs. They're last year's cubs. So the cubs won't be with her this next year. She'll have calmed down. So, but yeah. I'm still messing around. I'm waiting for the sun to come up a little bit more. It's still dark as hell out here. Still, oh, it's changing over. It's kind of like sleet. But yesterday I was up here and I did some hunting, saw a couple deer, but they were far off. So I was starting to trim all this stuff up. I got a little bit more right here, got a little bit more right there. Then I got to finish trimming up there. And then I can do all that, finish that moss chinking and get all this moss and crap out of here. Don't fret, all this foam that I'm cutting off, I'm separating it out. And it's actually going into my bin that's underneath all this. And, or in the garbage. And I'll haul that down. I've got just about a full garbage bag. But it's only leaking right now in a couple places. But I'm going to identify those places. I can see a few of them. And like there's one right here. It's right here by the board. And then I think there's not there. But wherever I'm going to identify, like there's some up in there. There's a couple over here. You can basically see where they're at, where they're dropping on the floor. And then you just feel around. But as soon as I get all this cut up, kind of like what's over here, get it all cut up and kind of flattened out. Now, like it's leaking right here, somewhere in here. So I'm going to shoot some more foam in here. In this hole right here, it doesn't feel like it's leaking that side. And I'll shoot some more up in here where there's no foam. But anywhere that's got like little amount of foam or some of this stuff. But yeah, and then I still got to pull all the moss chinking out of these and start mudding this all up. I got to finish mudding this wall. Gonna mud the door wall. I'm gonna finish mudding, and I'm gonna finish mudding over there. So the reason why I want to finish those up first is it'll get down to the bottom of the ceiling, and the roof will hold a lot of this heat from the fireplace. And then I'm already started on this back wall. I've still got to go back there and throw some more dirt behind there. And I've got it mudded up to right behind where the chair's at, down low. So I'll just keep coming over. I'll get all the way over and come up. Now I got some of this done. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a screw right there that's starting to leak. And there's another leak up here, right there, somewhere in there. Not there. Where is it? Because I can see it leaking. Right there. So I'll have to kind of separate some of this foam, cut a little bit of it out, shoot some foam up in there. And then over here, it's devoid of any, but it's not leaking. So, but in all that, I've got one more can of foam here. Oh yeah. And I will probably get a couple more just to be on the safe side. And then after all that dries, after 24 hours, it'll just be little places. I'll cut all that down. And then once that's all cut down, I don't got to worry about it no more. And then basically it's mud chinking. Now, as I'm in here right now, I've got so many clothes on. I've got a shirt, 2 hoodies, insulated bib overalls. Then I have an insulated coat. And then I have my regular insulated coat. And then I have my vest. And I'm warm. I'm very warm. I would take it off, but once I get out there to do the hunting, we will will start getting a little chillier. It's because I got this door closed just in case we get a bear walk up in here. I don't want him walking inside. So now I checked. Oh, it's changing over to snow. Okay, so anyways, I was watching behind me as I walked up and up the hill. So, and then we got downhill. Now I didn't check the other side. Now there's been deer on that corn pile, but I don't see them in the daytime. I think they're coming at night on that one. But down here at the lower one, we are getting deer and the bear that are down there early. See, now I got to get down there about sunrise, otherwise I'm going to miss this bear. And I really want to get him today. That would be outstanding. So, during hunting season, yes, the cabin is taking kind of a back seat, but, let me put the but in there. I'm still working on it. Once I get all my deer, okay, so far this year I've gotten three deer, 1 buck, 2 does. I still have another, what did I say this morning? 3 or 4 to get. And then I have 2 bear. I can get, I think, 1 or 2 more bucks. And I saw the 14 pointer the other day. I want him. I want that 14 pointer. He's big. So, and I'm not going after points on the rack. I'm after the most meat that I can harvest with a bullet. I want the exact most meat I can take out of a deer. The bigger the deer, the better off I am. That big doe was outstanding. The buck I got the other day, outstanding. They're both dressing out 150, 170. They're pretty good sized whitetail buck or whitetail deer. The first one I got was kind of small. I might have got 80, 90 pounds off her. She was small. Of course, she was the smallest one of 3, and I had to shoot the smallest one because they all ran up and into a bunch of trees, and I shot, and I thought, well, one of the bigger does is going to stand in front of that little one, and that's what I thought I was shooting. And the little one dropped, and I was like, well, crap. But meat in the freezer. That's what I'm looking at, meat in the freezer. I shot her. She's really tender, let me tell you. Ate the back straps off of her and the neck and part of a roast. And all of it has just been tender. The buck I got, he's going to be pretty tender because he's not a big-bodied buck. So these big-bodied bucks will dress out 170, almost 200. And they are a monster to load on a 4-wheeler. But no, we'll get it. We'll get it going. And I've got enough rope here to load another deer up on the 4-wheeler today if I get one. I've also got enough rope here to load up a bear on the 4-wheeler, but that's going to be about the weight for the 4-wheeler. I may have to come up here with the truck, rope frame and all, and load the bear up, because I don't think I'm going to be able to pick him up. A 500-600 pound bear is hard to do a fireman's carry, especially when you're going to get blood all over yourself. He becomes very slick. So I've got my come along up here, and I'll drop my tailgate and slide it lengthwise down to the ground and use it as a ramp, and I'll put some straps on his legs and strap across the back end and use the come along, and I'll pull him up in the back of the truck with the come along. Other than that, we are having a good day. We're early. Yesterday I cut a little bit of wood because I'm getting down. That's all the wood I got, and then I had I trimmed the end of the eaves of the downhill side, so those are a lot of the boards, and then these were end cut boards of the logs for my boards that I used up here, and and then I've got a bunch of kindling that's in that box that's up underneath those four. I've got some steel plates because of the rain's dripping down on there, and I don't want it to get all my kindling wet, so it just runs out. That's that one I gotta identify. I think there is a hole behind one of these logs here, and it's dripping down right there. So it's over here. It's right here. It's right here. So I gotta shoot some more foam in there, but I can't do it when it's wet. So what I'll do is today, since it's snowing and doing a little bit of rain, it's going to be a heavy wet snow. When I get done hunting this morning, I'm going to come in here. Well, I've got to go down, so tomorrow it will be tomorrow. When I come up here, it'll be a little bit colder. The snow will still be here. And what I'll do is, when I start heating this up, it's going to start dripping. And I'm going to take a marker and mark wherever it's dripping in here. Wherever I can see a drip, I'll figure out where it's dripping from. And put like a little arrow. I don't care if I'm drawing on the boards, there'll be arrows everywhere. And that way, when I start shaking up one of these cans, it's okay, I'll fill this up, fill this up, fill this up, fill this up, fill this up. When it dries out, which will be in the next few days. But if you look on the roof, there's a water drop right there, and there's a screw there. So what I'll do is I'll just shoot some foam on it and foam it up. And no, I still got all this. I trimmed the bottom. Now I got to trim up here, and that peak is going to be the worst. But how I'm going to do it is I put the ladder like this. I'll stand it up a little straighter, and then I've got a serrated knife here that I'm using. Where is it? That's that. Where'd I put the knife at? Oh, it's over here. Use a serrated knife, just kitchen knife, but it's got serrated on her, and it just cuts right on through there. You just do a sawing motion and it cuts right through. Now when I get up to the top, I'll use my skinning knife, which is a straight edge, and I'll just cut straight on one side, on the other side, and just pop that down. And any place where I can't get that serrated blade in there, then I'll cut with the little knife, do the best I can, and get it closed up. So like I said, trim all the, I got some more spray foam to trim. I may just leave the spray foam for another day, but I've got to do that frame for the window and a whole lot of mud chinking. So I can do the frame at any time, but once I get this wall done, I frame it up, get the plexiglass in there, I don't have to worry about it. Then I come over here, mud all this up, put the plexiglass in there, and then I ain't got to worry about this wall, because I'm going to go all the way from the top to the bottom on these walls. And then as I'm going from the top down on the walls. Now I've got some plastic here, so this wall I'll do over to here and get it all mudded down and get it finished, and then I'll concentrate on this one, and then I'll jump back over here and I'll pull the plastic back and do a little section, pull the plastic back, little section, and as I'm going I'll fold up all this plastic, that way I can use it for something else. And then we will have it all chinked up on the inside. Now, the chinking on the outside is going to come in the springtime, or if it gets kind of nice into February, March, I get some nice days, I'll start on it, but I won't finish it. It'll be finished in the spring because I got a way late start. July is a late start to be doing a cabin. But once I get the fire going in here, it stays pretty warm even with the open walls. But we start getting some cold blustery wind coming in here. It ain't gonna help worth a damn. So we will be doing what we can do. And I brought, like I did the other day, I brought in all my tools and stuff from out of the tent. Now it's on top of the bed, and I'm going to start moving it under the bed after a bit, because I want to get all this foam cut above the bed, because some of it's going to fall through the cracks. And I'll have to get up underneath there. I'll take the handle off the broom and go underneath there on my hands and knees and sweep all that. And then when I do cut the boards for my table and the rest of them for the bed, this board here will go away and it'll go underneath the middle of this. So if I have to, I just take the inside board and the outside board off just so I can work on it and get some screws put into it. And we'll go from there. Or I can just crawl underneath there on my back, because the screw gun's got a little light on there and I can see what I'm doing. But I want to make sure that it's up to where it's going to support the boards. And then before I put the boards on for this, I will box in another end and get it to where it's at the height that needs to be for the boards that I put on. It's going to be a little bit higher because of the height on these boards that are on the top of this. So they'll fit on the boards over here and go straight onto the little box. Now I'm only going to make the box about 1.5 feet more, because this is 5 foot and I want it like 6.5. So, and then once I get all the leaks done in the roof and stuff, I found a place that gets that has 6 and 8 inch foam. So I'm going to get about a 6 foot by 8 foot piece. I'm going to roll it up, bring it up here. I'll roll it out, cut it to the size I need, and that'll be the cushion for the bed. And then you just put your sleeping bag or whatever on top of it. You just use 2 sleeping bags and that'll work. And what foam I'm going to cut off, I'll put at the head of the bed towards the wall so you don't get dirt in your hair. And kind of use it as I can cut it up and make like a bunch of it for like one piece for a pillow. And the other one that's just going to go against the wall. Other than that, waiting for the sun to kind of come up. I'm up here way early, but this is what I wanted to do. I had to charge up my battery yesterday. So anyways, I'm going to let y'all go. I know I'm not quite as funny as I normally am because it's hunting season and the bears are around. They're out and about. They're looking for their last little scrap of food. So, they're going to be kind of nasty, and I got to keep my head on a swivel. That's no joke. I've got to be very careful, even though I'm armed up here. I didn't pack my pistol because I think a 30-06, if I shoot it once, it's going down, and if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure I can chamber another round real quick, or we can play merry-go-round on a couple of fucking trees. So, anyways. I'm going to see you guys later. I'm getting ready for sun up. And I'm going to go out and do some hunting. Got my gloves, rifle. I'm all bundled up. I'll put my hoodie over my head so I don't get so wet. I'll try to protect as much of the rifle as I can, because I'm going to be sitting in a chair and it'll be right there in my lap. It's no biggie. So I'll protect the optics so they don't get wet. And then when I put it up to my eye, I don't got to look through raindrops. So, anyways, and anywho's, this be me. And aren't you glad you're not me? But you could be having all this kind of fun and putting meat in the freezer and enjoying the outdoors. Now, I keep telling everybody I love wildlife. I'm a big advocate for wildlife. I love wildlife, especially when it's next to mashed potatoes and gravy. So, anywho's and anyways, this be me. And I want y'all to have a nice, safe day. I'm going to have a safe day of hunting and doing whatever I'm going to do up here, which won't be much. I've got to run down before noon down below, and the deer only run till maybe 10 o'clock. So, well, anyways, this be me. See ya.